Normally in Ramadan, we have the togetherness of the Muslim community that helps us stay motivated to do a lot of worship in Ramadan. But this Ramadan, obviously, things were different and many of us worked on our ibadah and worship by ourselves at home. We may find that it won't be that hard to keep going with these good habits, but of course, life happens. So here are 5 tips on how to not fall back into the old habits after Ramadan and to keep the good ones going, inshallah. The first tip is to integrate these good habits into your daily life. Ramadan is mostly about ibadah and less of the dunya, but after we move on from Ramadan, obviously things are a bit different and we start to go on with our day-to-day lives. So what we have to see here is how you can integrate those good habits that you developed for Ramadan into your daily day-to-day life without much conflict. And similarly for the bad habits as well. Try to integrate it into your life so that you don't go back to those bad habits. Now you see, Ramadan is a period of time where we do a lot of intense ibadah. And to be honest, it's okay to cut it down a little bit for after Ramadan. But note this, dropping 1 or 2 habits does not mean that you should start dropping any other good habits that you've developed throughout Ramadan too. And similarly for the bad habits, starting to do 1 or 2 bad habits after Ramadan does not mean that you continue to add on more bad habits just because you think that I might as well continue with more. That's a trick of shaitan, and you got to make sure that you don't fall into his trap of thinking that because you did 1, it's okay to do more. On this channel, I mainly talk about how you can integrate the deen into your dunya, and so you can check out the various topics that I've talked about already on this channel in different videos. I will link some down in the description below, and make sure to subscribe so you stay up to date with more future videos on those topics. The second point is that you can do it. If you've done something throughout Ramadan, regardless of if it's a good habit that you've continued for all 30 days or almost all of Ramadan, or even if it is a bad habit that you let go of in Ramadan, you've basically shown that you can continue doing that. If you were able to do it in those 30 days, then you can do it outside those 30 days too. But if your motivation that kept you going in those 30 days was that you can start over again after Ramadan, then you need to find another reason that is personal to you that will keep you motivated and help you keep going after Ramadan too. For example, if you thought that I'm gonna pray all my daily fard prayers on time every day without missing any one of them, just because on Eid and after Eid I can stop praying, then that's not how it should be, right? So now that you saw that you could do your daily prayers on time in Ramadan, I'm sure that you can continue it after Ramadan too. But just because your motivation to do it in those 30 days was wrong, you need to find a different reason to continue doing those prayers. And that could be that, okay, because I'm a Muslim, it is fard on me as a Muslim to continue worshipping Allah even after Ramadan, and Allah asks us to do our daily fard prayers as part of a second pillar of Islam, then that becomes another motivation for you to keep going even after Ramadan. It's just the motivation that matters the most. And not to forget, of course, that Allah exists out of Ramadan too, and worshipping Him is our responsibility not just in Ramadan but the remainder of the year as well. Make sure that your purpose in the end leads you to Allah. Make sure that it somehow connects you to Allah, whether it is directly or indirectly. But this was the point where, because you did it in Ramadan, you can do it out of Ramadan too. You just gotta make sure you still have that reason and connectivity with Allah. Before we move on to the third point, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and let's go. The third point is to understand that fun can be halal too. Some people don't continue the way they were in Ramadan after Ramadan too, because they think that Ramadan is a month where we stop all our fun activities and only spend our time worshipping Allah. While that is true to a certain extent, it is not for the sake of Ramadan that we stop our fun activities and only worship Allah. Rather, it is to collect those rewards and abundant blessings that come with the month of Ramadan. So after Ramadan, we definitely can spend more time on halal entertainment and fun. But if your idea of fun includes haram things, then you gotta redefine your definition of fun, because haram things might feel fun, but it is a delusional thing and can lead to drastic consequences in the far future. So if you find yourself going back to bad habits after Ramadan for the sake of fun, then definitely try to look at some other activities which you still find to be fun but come into the category of halal activities. So this brings me to the fourth point, which is to stay in the company of people who are doing the things that you want to be doing. As we all know, we are the average of the people who we spend the most time with in our day. So spend more time with the people who are doing things that you want to be doing. So for example, if you want to be doing more Quran even after Ramadan, then definitely connect with some friends and family who also read the Quran continuously, regardless of whether it's Ramadan or not. Spending time with them not only gives you the accountability of keeping up with your goal of reading the Quran, but also you have a motivation to do it because someone else is doing with you too. too. And so similarly for bad habits, try to avoid the type of people who are doing the haram things that you want to avoid. Be closer to the ideal people that you want to be like. You can find these people in your local masjid, in Islamic communities and societies. But in this lockdown, obviously, we cannot meet anyone else physically, let alone big groups. But there are many ways you can do this digitally. Many halakas and Islamic gatherings have turned to online platforms, and you can find them easily online depending on the country and region you're from. Or spend more time watching Islamic lectures online and Islamic videos like these. Make sure to hit the notification bell icon so you can stay updated on whenever I release a new video on such topics. So this point was all about making sure that you spend more time with the ideal people and avoiding the type of people who do the activities that you're trying to avoid. And the fifth point is to keep the next Ramadan in mind. I know this Ramadan has just passed and I'm already talking about next Ramadan, but this is the goal, to continue doing what you wanted to be doing and to push yourself and to challenge yourself for the next Ramadan. The way you can do this, and the way I'm doing this as well, is to create more advanced goals, to go a step further from things that you already did this Ramadan and start preparing for that. If you start working on them from now, then inshallah you'll be prepared for next Ramadan, and regardless of the situation next year, you will be prepared inshallah to ace and smash your goals in the next Ramadan. Inshallah in the future I'll have a video coming up on how I achieved more advanced goals this Ramadan, so stay tuned for that. Share this video with somebody who you think might be falling back into old habits or is struggling to keep up with the good habits that they developed in Ramadan, and let me know in the comments down below how you thought this video was and what the tips sound like to you. And until next time, live your beliefs and stay tuned to Bliifee. Time with in the day. Oh my god, why is there a spider on top of my... Go away. Go away.